Hi, my name is Mark Needham with Startree, and in this video we're going to learn how to batch ingest JSON files from our local machine into Apache Pinot. So if you look on the screen, we have our Pinot cluster up and running, and if we click on the Query Console tab there over on the left, you can see we don't currently have any data in our cluster. So let's see if we can sort that out. So if we navigate over to my VS Code over here, we can see we've got a JSON file. Let's just have a look. So we've got one JSON document per line, and you can see that we've got an ID, and we've got a title, we've got a release date, and we've got some other properties as well. So those are the files that we want to ingest into Pinot. Now, when we're ingesting data into Pinot, we first need to define a schema, which is pretty similar to how it would be in a relational table. So we've got to have our columns, and we specify a name, and then we have a type to go alongside it. And so you can see there's a one-to-one mapping between each of the fields, and they're split across different field types, which are kind of hints to the Pinot optimizer for what it can do with the data. So we've got some dimension fields, we've got some metrics, and then we've got the date time down the bottom. Now, the next thing we need to look at is the table config. So this is like the configuration for the table itself. And the first thing is we need to link it to the schema. So we do that. And we need to specify what the name of the time column is. Now that we've done that, we can actually go ahead and add the table. So if we go over to our command line here, you can see we're going to run this add table command. And we pass in the path to our table config and schema files. And if we run that, we'll give it a few seconds, you'll see that we get a message telling us that the table's been created. So we can now navigate back to the Pinot UI again and have a quick look. And we can see, there we go, that we've got the table. Notice at the moment, there is no data. So that's the next thing that we need to fix. So let's come back to Visual Studio Code again. At this time, we're looking at what we call a job spec. So this is a YAML file that specifies what exactly do we want our import to do. So you can see that we specify where the data is, what files it should be looking for. So it can be more than one file, although in this case, there's only one. And then we've got some other metadata indicating, well, what type of file are you working with? And then finally, we specify which table does that data need to be ingested into. And if we come back over to the terminal again, you can see that we're going to run our launch data ingestion job. And this is going to run that file and then ingest the data into Pinot. And so we can see that's now finished. And if we go back over to our Pinot UI again, let's run a query against that movies table again. And there we go. We've now got those records ingested into Pinot. And so now you've seen that we've been able to successfully load those movies from the JSON file into Apache Pinot. And so now it's time for you to give it a try with your own data and let us know how you get on. We'll see you in the next video.